Hello everyone and welcome back. This is your boy Ryan and this is going to be the first video for Path of Exile 3.19 expansion, Lake of Kalandra. This is the update video for my League Starter build. So I said I would be starting as a poison animate weapon, but after playing it for a while, the build felt really bad. Like I had to do a lot of clicking and the playstyle was just not for me. So I wanted a bit more chill playstyle and I'm glad I went with the other build that I planned. And I am having a good time playing the game. Well, as ironic as it sounds, because the state of the game is really bad right now. Like it's like poverty everywhere in the game. No loot is dropping. State of the market is kind of really bad spot. But in these dark times, I am trying to enjoy the game for what it is and whatever left of the game it is until they fix the game. Like there is nothing conservative going on or constructive going on. Everyone is just hating on GGG, and maybe they fix the game, like they give us some loot back, and that would be good. But until then, like slow progression is the way to go. And but rambling on about the state of the game is not why you are here. This is a kind of sort of build guide if you want to play this, because this is something new and this is quite effective until I am playing it. Like I played it up to T13, 14s, and the build is doing properly. It's doing all right. Well, even though Essence Monsters with ARCHNEMESIS mod is scary as hell, so keep that in mind. Now, I don't know how viable it will be in higher tiers, but it seemed okay last league. The Flame Golems were buffed this league, and I did some bossing on this last league on standard, and it was okay. Like it didn't have like that crazy amount of damage like Carrion Golems, but it still does the job. So I am hoping that it can do well into the late game because it got buffed by a massive amount. So let's get into it. So this is going to be a Flame Golem Elementalist. We are going full offensive because defenses are a joke. You get one shot from ARCHNEMESIS mobs anyway. So full on offense. And let's go into the gear and gem section right now. We're rolling with 2 Clay Shapers. For the extra golems, we get 2 extra golems from this. So our flame golem count goes to 5, and we have a chaos golem for some fizz damage reduction. Then the other gears, except the gloves and the belt, everything else, our rings, our amulet, our helmet, and our boots, everything is for life, resistance, and attribute capping. Anything else, we use unset rings because we are socket starved. For the helmet, getting a +1 level of all minion skill gem is going to be the cheapest option that you can get. +2 is very expensive right now, so I don't bother going into it if you are poor. As for the belt, it's going to be Darkness Enthroned with 2 jewels with flat fire damage added to minions and life. For the gloves, you want to buy a base from the market with minions deal increased damage on the implicit with the Searing Exarch modifier, and then spam it with Essences of Fear to get minions deal increased damage. The Essences of Fear is this one. On the gloves, minions deal increased damage. You want to spam it until you get some life and some resistances, and that should be good. Try to get a armor base on the glove. Armor and evasion base or armor and ES base would be good, but get one with armor base for the extra defenses. As for our other gears, you can see attribute life resistances, same on the rings as well, same on the boot as well, and the body armor. So very easy to gear, very easy to play, very easy to progress through the storyline as well. So this should get you into the game fairly easily. As for the gem setups, we have a Immortal Call cast on damage taken setup on one of our weapons. This is to prevent one-shotting. We go for a level 5 cast on damage taken with a level 7 Immortal Call. We have a Flame Dash for movement skill. The other Clay Shaper, we have a aura setup for our minions with Generosity, Precision, and Zealotry. For our helmet, we have a Wave of Conviction setup with Hex Touch, Flammability, and Combustion. This is going to be our casting. I mean, this is a skill that we're going to manually cast on bosses and on strong mobs. So this is going to apply a lot of exposure along with the Elementalist Ascendancy. We get up to minus 100 plus resistance on the target with this setup. So really, really good. For our main body armor links, we have the Summon Flame Golem with Fire Penetration, GMP, Minion Damage, Increased Crit Damage, and Spell Echo. And then for our rings, we have Vitality and Defiance Banner on the rings. For our boot, we have Spirit Offering, Determination, Convocation, and Desecrate. Then for our gloves, we have the support minion setup with Ray Spectre, Feeding Frenzy, Chaos Golem, and Minion Life. Keeping the support specters alive right now is very, very difficult. Like, they die a lot of times. The golems don't die, but the specters are fairly squishy. Because we are elementalist, we don't get that much resistance on our minions. So later on, as we optimize the build, I want to go for bone rings that can give a lot of minion resistances, and that should keep the minions alive a bit better. And this is the reason I am afraid to invest into an Animate Guardian right now, because the maps are so rippy. The damage from the incoming monster are so heavy that I feel like if I invest into an AG, it will just die randomly somewhere and I will be crying my brains out. All right, so a lot of things going on. Like, we have a lot of skills that you're going to be casting. You're going to be casting Desecrate, and you're offering Spirit Offering manually because we don't use a trigger one. And then you also be casting our Wave of Conviction. But we solve all the mana issues by taking Eldritch Battery. So we don't have a mana issue, and we can reserve all of our manas. Like, most of our mana, like 99% of our mana is going to be reserved. Okay, that is the gear setup. And our flasks, my flasks are shit right now, all defensive flasks and no rolls. I got them from the progressing through the axe, and that's where I am right now. As for skill tree, we are an elementalist, so this is going to be the skill tree that you're going to go for. I'm rolling with two clusters, two large clusters that are cheap as hell. Like, this cost me 5 chaos, this cost me 4 chaos. So it only has renewal on it and some minion damage. We're going for the sockets to socket in the harmony jewels and nothing else. A tree is also fairly simple. You go up, go all the way here for the mana reservation, Eldritch Battery, Golem Commander, and then you go on the left side to get all the minion nodes. Keep in mind, for flame golems, attack and cast speed don't do anything to you. It's only damage, because they have a fixed cast rate of something. So, or not fixed cast rate, they have a cooldown spell. Their main damaging spell is the Magma Orb. That is on a cooldown. So they will cast it whenever it's off cooldown. So cast speed doesn't matter. That's why we stack up harmonies. Harmony jewels are going to reduce the cooldown for the golem's magma ball skill by a lot. And that's how you're going to get more damage. As we stack more harmonies, you will get more damage. And then the rest of the tree is all defensive. You go invest into a lot of armor. You'll get invested into life and get your life as high as possible, and then grab jewel sockets wherever you can. Right now, my tree is kind of fucked up. Like, I don't have proper clusters. When I have proper clusters, I'll have some points left over to get all the jewel sockets on the tree, and also leveling up helps. Noticeably, this node over here now has crit chance and crit multi, so this is going to be something you're going to be investing into. These two nodes are for later. When you have spare points, you invest into the minion crit multis. These are really, really good. No reservation masteries are no longer needed because they don't give that much. And anything else? For the armor mastery, we're going with the mana reservation efficiency for determination, because we want to reserve a lot of auras. Otherwise, if I manage to get an Enlighten or something to reduce the mana cost or mana reservation efficiency, then I would actually go for reduced crit damage, and then I would go for crit immunity somehow, like an Watcher side with crit immunity. Go for these node and these mastery, and we can cap our crit, not crit, but crit damage taken. We can go up to 100% of less crit damage taken. And that is going to be it for the passive tree. As for the Ascendancy, we go and rush to Elementalist as soon as possible for the extra 2 golems. This helps us tremendously while leveling. We have four flame golems that we can use to rush through bosses and acts really fast, and then get into white tier maps really quickly. As for our third lab, we go for Mastermind of Discord. This gives us a ton of negative resistance application on the enemy. We have minus 25% from this. We have a whopping minus 15% from the Wave of Conviction, and then we have minus 43% from the Flammability Curse, and another 10% from Combustion, plus a minion mastery that has minions penetrate 8% of cursed enemy and elemental resistances. So combine all of these and you have a massive amount of enemies' fire resistances being shred, and that is one of the most damaging element of the build. So as you saw in the map demonstration, the build has quite good clear, reasonable boss DPS. It feels good and it's something new. If I have problems with T16 mapping and higher level content, then I would obviously switch into something like a carry-on Golem Necromancer, but that requires a lot of investment. Right now, Primordial Jewels are really expensive. Like they are like 3 divines, 4 divines for Anima Stone and Primordial Might, and they are going up in prices by a lot. So I can't invest into them right now. That's why I went with the Elementalist for the extra golems to get my damage in. Also, the 4th lab will give me the Bastion of Elements, which is going to increase the survivability by a lot. Combine this with Immortal Call and you will be very safe during your mapping. If you want more damage though, you can skip Bastion of Elements and get Shaper of Storms. And that way you're going to be shocking enemies with Wave of Conviction. You're going to have to do some shenanigans into it and get something else, like convert it into lightning damage to shock. Or not shock. Actually, no, this always shocks, so you don't need to do anything. You can take this and you can apply shock on the enemies. That way you're going to increase the damage by a lot as well. And that is going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give a like on this video, and I will post an update as I get there. So see ya on the next video. Peace.